Here is my train, and we're going to end up with it looking like this. We're going to give it a film effect around it. And the layer behind, Gaussian blur, then I've got Age of Steam for my text. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, where am I? Hold tight. Let me pause, I have to think. Got it, got it. All right, get the marquee, rectangular marquee tool. Draw your square around the train, and you don't want to zoom out to this bit because we're going to put a nice big frame around it, a stroke. Control J to duplicate that. Now we have two, that was Control J. And have a look at what I've got. Fabulous. And then we're going to put the stroke on layer 1. Down here is our stroke. That defaults to red, and we want black for the film. And I'm going to increase the size of it. You don't want to touch out here. Not quite. And then instead of outside position, we're going to go to inside. And I will move that down a bit. What do you think? Good to go? All right. There we have it. Now we're going to type, and I'll show you what the type is. Here you can see film usually has something saying Fuji or Kodak or whatever on either side. So what we will do is click on type. I'm looking for an amber kind of color. There we are. 20-point Arial does me, and then I start typing. And that's very strange words. It's 5 and then a bracket, and I will zoom in afterwards so that you get an idea, but it doesn't have to be exact. 7. Now let me zoom in over that. So 5, you've got the bracket, Fuji, RDP 400, bracket 7. And then I will fit on screen. Okay. Now then, click on the Move tool and go up to Edit, Transform, and you want to rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise. And then all you do is you shove it into place. If you want to space it out, double click on the T for the layer. That highlights it, and then you can do your enters to your heart's content. Fab. Now on the other side I'm going to have some more writing, so click, Move tool, sorry, Text tool, click, and then this is going to say Fuji 6, Fuji, Foofy, huh. 6, Fuji. Is that right? Yeah. 6. Okay, Move tool. And then this time we're going to go Edit, Transform, and we are going to rotate 90 degrees clockwise. There we are. And in it goes. You can nudge it into place with the arrows as well. Perfect. Hokey cookie. Now, we are going to switch off that background layer. Okay, and then what we're going to do is merge all of these visible layers into one layer. So get your new layer, there we go, goes in above it, hold down the Alt key, and then it layer, merge visible, Alt, Control, Shift, E. And they all go in there. Click back on. So far so good. Okay, back on to layer 2. We are going to, and I'll put this away so you can see what we're doing. I'm going to duplicate this, not once, but twice. And then, you know, I'm going to get rid of these layers as well, because we don't need them now. And what's this one? Yeah, I don't need that one. Okay, we have layer 2. Duplicate it twice, Control J, and then let me show you what I will be doing. There's layer 2, and this is Control J, and Control J. I'll minimize. Zoom out. Control and then the minus key. I'm on layer 4. I click with the move tool and I'm pushing it up to get that frame effect. Now line up, they overlap in fact, the frame. Click on layer 2, layer 3, isn't it? Layer 3 comes down and I push this down to here. I'm lining up. Okay, now then I'm going to click back onto layer 4. Okay, and we're zooming right. Now switch off the background layer, which we have, and I'm going to link these 3 top layers. So to link them, don't merge them. This is, you get the same effect, but this is slightly different. Do a different thing. Click on layer 4, the top one, and then click to the right of the eye on the layer below it. Click, and there you can see you have that link. And then click again. And now if I move it, you see they all move as one, which is what we want. Okay, now we're going to get that nice rotated effect. Control T to transform, Control minus to zoom out. And this is the full extent of your layers. Okay, we're going to rotate it round, and do not, whatever you do, please do not double click to embed. Okay, hold it right there, because if you double click right now, what you do is you will crop everything. You won't be able to move it. And I'm going to resize it so that I can see all of the 3 frames. I'm holding shift to maintain the perspective. What do you think? I'll zoom in just a little bit. So far so good. I think that looks okay. Now at this point, when you double click inside here, you'll see this bounding box disappear. There will be no more train around it. Click. So in effect what you're doing is cropping it at the same time as transforming. Let's check. Fabulous, fabulous. So then I'm going to go back onto my background layer, double click, it seems to be locked. There we go. Now what am I going to do? On the background, I want to put a nice blurred effect. Before I do that, what will I do? Gaussian? No. What should I do? I'm going to pull up hue and saturation. Control U. Now there are lots of things you could do in here. You could just click on saturation and pull it right over to black and white. You can play around with hues coming in here. Click colorize and you get a nice sepia effect. Tone down your light, highlight your lightness, tone down the saturation, the hue, we're into reds there. I'm going to go with that. You're going to give me 2 with a different effect on. Okay. All done. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put that blur on to get that nice grainy effect. Filter, blur, so still on the bottom one, Gaussian. And I've been in here before. I could have done more than that, huh? Filter, blur, more. There we go. Just a little bit more. All right. Now then, I am going to merge all of these top 3 into one layer now. So click, and then Alt, Control, Shift, E, in they go, and at this point I can delete the separate layers. We've transformed them, we've rotated them, cropped them, okay? And now what I'm going to do is put a dropped shadow on this one. Click. And then just drag it to size. Okay? Put you back in. This is taking shape, alrighty. Now we're going to put a layer here. If I hold the control, the layer goes underneath. There we go. Hold control, click on the new one, it goes underneath, which is perfect. Clicking up. Now we're going to increase the canvas size. Image, canvas size. I'm going to make it 2 inches more than whatever it is. Right now it's 11. I'm going to make it 13. Oh, not 16, fat fingered. 14 becomes 16. Make sure that you're anchored in the middle so that the space goes around evenly, unless you specifically want it to go somewhere else. That's okay too. Okay, and then I'm going to take my paint brush. I'm going to choose a color that complements my picture. Not too black. I'll go in here. And I'm going to dump my color in. There. Now, I'm not content with dumping color in. I want to go up and I want to add a texture to it. Texturizer. I love saying texturizer. Play around. When you're happy, in it goes. Okay, filter, noise, add noise, despeckle. Just make it look good. Okay. Let me zoom in so we can see. And now we have a little palette around. Then I'm going to click on layer 0, which is actually that one. Okay, back on it, and I'm going to put my little drop shadow in there and pull it down so that you can see what you're doing. Okay, I'm also going to have a stroke on here. As I speak, I'm having a stroke. And I'll have something that complements my picture. I want it, play around, how thick do you want it? Do you want it inside? That cuts out this bit round here. Do you want it in the center? I am going to go for outside. And then OK. And then all that remains is for us to put in the text. I click on the top layer and then I start typing in. Now, what am I going to call it? Age of Steam. Tiny, 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 so double click to highlight it. And then I'm going to make it bigger, still too small. I'm going to make it 120. Highlight A for Arial, and then you can start seeing what it actually looks like. There. I'm okay with that. Get this into space. Age of Steam. Okay, now I probably want I'm going to transform it. Double click, and at that point I probably want a stroke around it. This is how you put the stroke in. Down here, stroke. And I want, what color of stroke would I like? Same as that, huh? There. I got my drop shadow. Okay. Age of Steam. That's not too bad at all, is it? Now, if you want to put special effects on, hold the Control key and click on the words Age of Steam over here. That highlights them. Filter, eye candy. You could put all sorts in here. What does motion trail do? Yes, we do want to rasterize. That's fine. Oh, no. Length. No, I don't like that. No, no, no. You may. That's okay too. Glass. Okay. And that's actually pretty good. I like that. Rendering. Control D to deselect. And that is our picture. Let me... what is it? Control spacebar to fit in. Let me try and... I'm trying to get you to see it, but it's pretty difficult. There we go. Age of Steam, and that is one of them. Now remember, you've got two to do, so let me pull up. Here's my Age of Steam finished. I'll put you away. I'll put this. That's pretty nice. I quite like that one. I say so myself. Here is Neuschwanstein. Remember, I lived in Bavaria. So this is, you'll recognize it if you've ever seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Here we have it. So the second one, try and get one that is a portrait effect. It works better with the film, you know, rather than a landscape. So here was Neuschwanstein, and there's the before, and this is the after. We've got the film blurred behind, I've got a sepia, I've got a texture around the canvas, and I've got text with effects. Okie dokie, 2 to do.